we were talking to Alice over dinner one night, and we were talking, man, it's just, so awesome. You're still out here doing this. He said, I haven't played my best show yet. What a sentiment from someone who has done it all.
Rock, metal, prog, and everything in between. Welcome to this episode of Talkin Rock with Meltdown. Don't forget to follow the audio-only Talkin Rock podcast on all podcast platforms. And now, it's time for today's conversation. Here's Meltdown.
Hey, Chris, good to see you again. How are you?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Good. You're going to be in town this coming Saturday as we record this District 142, Them Dirty Roses, and Ayron Jones. That guy's pretty good.
Hell yes. This tour package has been one of my favorite headlining tours we've ever done in the United States. It's just like raw, unfiltered, unadulterated rock and roll. It's just straight to the point what it is. And everybody's bringing it every night. Fans are leaving every night. Like all three bands were badass. It's just, dude, it's rock and roll. There's not a big production. It's a band on stage with the lights that the house has playing rock and roll. And we love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I saw last night. I saw Zach Sabbath, and I just talked to the guys from Return to Dust. They were just here, and both those bands, Zach Sabbath, they're using, monitors.
Yeah, same with us, man. Me and Ben have been on wedges for the longest time, man. It's wild. Like we even use like the digital amp modelers. Like we're not even using the actual guitar amps and cabs. We're using the cabs, but we use the digital amps. And most people that use those are on in-ears, but we're old school, man. We rock wedges up front.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're old school. And plus, I've had in-ears in before, and obviously not in a situation like what you guys are in, but I feel like I suppose you probably get used to it, but you can't really hear the crowd.
Yeah, there's a disconnect there, and obviously you can have crowd microphones, ambient microphones in the room. And when I used in-ears, we would always have two mics on each side of the stage, and then a stereo set right in front of me. So it's like still hearing the room. But the problem is I would get this awesome in-ear mix, and then the first thing I'd want is for the engineer to destroy his mix by turning the ambience mics up louder than the mix.
Right.
I wanted to hear the room, and so. Eventually that got to me running my in-ears way too loud. So I was just, I probably have permanent hearing damage from it, but I just went back to wedges and earplugs, man. And it's way more comfortable for me.
Yeah. It
doesn't matter where we're playing either, man. Like big festivals, small clubs, I want wedges and earplugs.
Yeah, no, it's all about, what you like and what you prefer. The email that I received when I was going to talk to you said something about a tie-in with Harley dealers. Do you guys do stuff with Harley dealers across the country?
Man, we've played. I reckon Harley dealers just like us for some reason. We have played several Harley Davidson locations around the country. I don't know if there's like a deeper connection, but our music works for what they do, I guess. We've played several around the country, man. It's always a great time. They take good care of you.
Yeah. Do you guys have motorcycles?
No, my wife told me I wasn't allowed. She said I had to have four wheels under me because I can barely walk and talk at the same time.
Well, I will tell you this. I've been married for 25 years, and my piece of advice I could give anyone that's getting married or whatever, you lay down the rules first. So I told my wife, I said, I ride Harleys and I play hockey. And I'm just about ready to put my Harley away for the year. And I played hockey yesterday and this morning. So see how that works? You got laid?
Well, yeah. See, me and my wife have been together for 20. We started dating in high school at 16. I'm 40, so 24 years.
Right.
And I play guitar and collect Pokémon. That's my two things, man. So neither one of those are too dangerous. I keep it pretty safe. That's my deal.
You didn't strike me as a Pokemon guy. I didn't think I'd be saying those words today, but here we are. You never know what's going
on. Hey, dude, I got an Umbreon tattoo. Look, I've been sitting here playing Switch and look at my controller.
I don't even know what Umbreon is, but I'll take your word for it.
Come on now. I'm kind of sad right now, but it's okay. I'm a nerd. It is what it is.
Yeah, you got to have your own thing, man. So the new single, new videos out for Celebrate. The new EP hits shelves coming up on March 6th, it says here. So I guess the first question, and this is kind of something I ask bands when I put EPs out, is like, why not a full record?
I think for us, man, it's like we've gotten to a point as a society, in my opinion, where we want something new faster than we ever have, right? The new iPhone comes out every September. The new thing, it comes out. It's like once a year, there's new, there's new, there's new, there's new. And if you look at album cycles, an album cycle is typically like a 2 year thing. You put out a record and you go tour for the next 18 months to 2 years. We don't live in this society anymore. And,
Yeah.
looking at it, it's like a band can put out a record and then the fans want more new music 6 months later. And we were like, you know what? We've got these songs right here ready to go. We believe in them as wholeheartedly as we do in an album. They tell a story, they paint a picture, they do the thing. Let's put it out
Mhm.
and just see what the response is. I mean, dude, we've been doing this now for 20 years. We've and in 20 years we put out 8 records, a couple of blues EPs, a few live records. Like we put out stuff as often or more often than most. You know what I mean? But we just wanted to try something different this time, ultimately, to see how that kind of goes over with the way we all consume stuff now.
Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of the answer I thought you were going to give me. It's like, we seem to be coming into this time where, well, I'm personally, I'm a record guy, right? So it's like
Same, always have been.
I like to drop the needle and walk away for 20 minutes or whatever. I don't like to skip songs, and I just let the whole thing play. But I get exactly where you're coming from. Like I was just talking about the Return to Dust guys were here, and they did the same thing. They put out an EP last year, and they
Yeah,
thought
dude, and
they
it,
thought that was the tightest package they could get, like from some of the songs. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah, no, dude, and it was a heartbreaking realization when I realized that I'm probably in the minority when it comes to the music listeners of people who will actually put on an album and just listen to the whole thing as it was intended to be played. Like we live in a society now where you can pull anything up on your phone, make your own playlist for any mood you're in,
Right.
So it's different, man. Like, but I grew up, putting on vinyl records that my dad had or cassettes and cassettes, it wasn't easy to skip a song. It's easier to skip a song on vinyl than a cassette. You got to sit there and, work for it on a tape, man. And cassettes were the thing in the early 90s. CDs hadn't really taken off where, at least at my household yet. We were still on the cassette world. So dude, I just put on a tape and let it play a lot of times,
Yeah,
but dude, those cassettes sound better than vinyl or CDs, in my opinion.
think
That
so.
tape saturation, there's something about that tape, man, that just, and then it gets worn in. I don't know. It gets a little fuzzier sounding, feels a little more like home when you put your headphones on.
And I haven't listened to a cassette in forever. Maybe you should hey, there you go. Put these songs out on cassette.
I would love to. I would love to do a limited edition cassette of the EP because an EP would fit, perfectly fine on a cassette. I think it'd be really cool.
I was texting earlier with Tyler from Theory of a Dead Man. You guys covered "Don't You Forget About Me." From first of all, it's one of my favorite songs, and secondly, it's from one of the movies I've probably seen the most in my life. I grew up in the '80s, and I mean, that song and that movie are just they just go with.
Dude, the two things I took away from that movie when I saw it as a kid were that song and the fist pump at the end of the movie.
That's right, yeah.
It's just, dude, it was like those two things were you put those two things together and it's overcoming adversity and creating a new start. That's the whole thing about that movie that I loved. You know what I mean? Is it's a new beginning for everybody. But it's like I've wanted to record that song and do a cover of it for as long as I can remember. Because I always heard it more like every time I would hear the song, I loved it, but I always heard it like a little more aggressive, a little heavier, like the way we would do it, and so we finally did, and we got Tyler on it, dude, and he killed it. He did such an awesome job.
Yeah, Tyler and his perfect hair and stuff. I get it. So
Yeah, his baritone, he pisses me off. He's just he's just he's good. You know what I mean? Like everything he does is just good.
I
From his hair to his boots to his singing to his guitar playing, songwriting.
No, he's a great guy. But he just told me he goes, yeah, just say hi to Chris for me, and that's all he said. But
Yeah, I love it, dude, man.
I was just talking with someone about this over the weekend, but Careless Whisper, like from Wham. I was never a fan. But when Seether covered it, I'm like, now this I like. So I can't wait to hear
Yeah.
you guys' version of Simple Minds, which I mean, I like that song.
Yeah, see, and that's the trouble is everybody likes that song. So hopefully people don't think we ruined it. You know what I mean? But I like to think we did a pretty kick-ass version of it.
Yeah. And so what do you got? You got 6 songs, is that right, on this record?
There's the 6 originals and then the cover. So
Okay.
there's so
And
7 songs total.
then I see that you guys recorded it pretty close to home, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah,
Um,
man, we used our buddy's studio.
yeah. So how far away is that from where you guys are?
About to get to the studio from my house is about an hour
Okay.
drive, so it's not that bad. You know, it's because it's kind of out in the boondocks where the studio's at. It's not actually in Bowling. It's technically Bowling Green, but not. You know, it's kind of on the outskirts. But within an hour you're back home. You take a shower and go to bed. You know, and that's when you're making a record. I love that personally.
Yeah. Go visit the Corvette Museum and then go home.
Dude, you know what's funny is I have lived within an hour's drive of the Corvette Museum my entire life. And the only time I ever went was on a school trip.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to go
Uh,
because they had the sinkhole thing, and you got to see that.
well, yeah. It's one of those things, man. It's like Mammoth Cave. I had never went and taken a tour of that until last year. And I've lived there my whole life.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where like you live there so you don't think about it like other people think about it. You're like, yeah, man, the cave's right there. Yeah, it's right down the road. But then you go in there and you're like, damn,
Yeah,
pretty,
that's
pretty
like
amazing.
I don't know how much time you guys have on a Saturday when you play at District 142, but the Henry Ford and the Greenfield Village, they're all on the same area. But
Oh,
the
dude, that's rad.
yeah, the Henry Ford is like it's like the history of the country. The chair that Lincoln was shot is in there. I mean, the chair, the car that Kennedy was shot is in there. They got all sorts of American history in there.
It sounds like the dark side of American
No,
history
there's
in there.
few examples, right? But no,
Right.
there's all sorts from trains to, I mean, sewing machines. It just goes on and on and on.
That's rad.
It's only about 20 minutes from where you guys are, but it's one of the gems of Detroit as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, hell yeah, dude.
How much did, I might have asked you this before, I'm not even sure, but just talking about this, how much did Detroit music play into your psyche as a kid? I mean, we had, guys like Nugent and Seeger and Alice Cooper, and I mean, the list goes on and on, Kid Rock, Eminem, just nonstop. Did
So so Seeger, I mean, basically everybody you just mentioned, had some kind of an impact on us. That a big one for me, man, was probably the Seeger stuff. Just dude, his vocals are like it's butter.
yeah.
It's like butter on warm toast, man. It's just he's got that voice. He was a big influence for me as a singer, because I got a fairly raspy voice. I'm no Bob Seger, but I gravitated toward guys like that once I realized that's kind of I had more of a gravelly kind of sound in my voice. I listened to dudes like that. Obviously, Ted Nugent's guitar playing is just next level, and the songs are insane. Um, and then Alice Cooper is probably one of the finest gentlemen walking the earth
Mm.
that I've ever had the pleasure of being in the same room with. We toured with him in Europe. It was just us and Alice and his band, and the kindness and respect that a legend treated us with. This was 2018, 19, somewhere around there.
That's
Yeah. And we were talking to Alice over dinner one night, and we were talking, man, it's just, so awesome. You're still out here doing this, and a lot of guys, wouldn't be. He said, I haven't played my best show yet. He said, that's the way I look at everything. And I was just like, damn, what a sentiment from someone who has done it all 10 times over. Alice is one of the most legendary rock and roll acts of all time, in my opinion, and I just, obviously you can tell I have a huge spot in my heart for that camp.
That's great. I didn't realize you guys did that. And I was just thinking
Mhm.
about this. You got the Creed Summer of '99 cruise coming up and stuff. And I don't know about you, but I grew up in a small town outside of Western New York. And when I go on a cruise and I'm in Cozumel, I'm like, this is insane to me. I grew up with a cornfield behind my house, and now same thing with you guys. And it's like you get to tour
Yeah, dude.
Europe with
We had to Yeah, dude, I grew up with a tobacco field behind the house and then a cow pasture to the other side, like, and then we end up on these cruises and you're walking around Mexico, you're walking around Jamaica or the Bahamas, and you're like, this is all because of music.
Right.
I get to be here because it's pretty insane, man. And that's not slept on with our camp. We understand we're very fortunate to get to do what we do, especially to be doing it as long as we've been doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with me. I guess, I've had to go because, I've had a 35-year career in this business, but I'm like you, man. I grew up in a place where we didn't look into the future. We looked into the pasture.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, that's kind of where, life where we were from. It was, you go to college or you get a job after school, like starting your rock and roll band wasn't really like the hip thing to do, like people were, for the most part, were very supportive, but you know, we kind of had to go against the beaten path a little bit to get to where we are, but I'm, super thankful we did.
Yeah. Well, that's great, man. Well, you guys are playing, like I said, Saturday, District 142. We'll put everybody over there. Celebrate this new track from the EP. Real fast, give me a synopsis of what this song is all about.
Man, mental health is a very, very tricky thing. I've dealt with it. I've been public about my own battles since 2011, really. And the society we live in, it's so easy to beat yourself up over the smallest stuff. Why can't we celebrate the smaller things as well? Mm. And it's as simple as what this thing says. You made it through another one today. Getting up, being able to do what you needed to do that day, coming home and going to bed. Celebrate it, man. Pat yourself on the back. Be happy. Like we're too quick to smack each other down, man. Let's celebrate each other a little bit more. And that's exactly what the song's about.
Somebody told me years ago that it always gets better, and that's the truth. It always does get better. And I don't know, you could have a terrible day, but there's good days still to come. And like Ellis said, his best show is still to come, and your best days are still to come. So
absolutely, man, absolutely. And as long as you keep that mentality and that thing, you can get through anything. I firmly believe that.
Well, that comes out on March 6th, the EP. And I can't wait to hear this cover with Tyler and his perfect pompadour.
Hell yeah, his sultry, smooth voice. Damn him.
Those Canadian guys, they're so nice. I love the Theory Boys. But
I know it.
But Chris, thanks for taking some time to talk with us here. We'll see you on Saturday, District 142 here in Detroit with the guys from Them Dirty Roses and Ayron Jones.
Hell yes, appreciate you, sir.